One day, your child won't remember today clearly, but their nervous system will, and that changes everything. Most parents think memory starts later when the child is older, when they can talk, when they can say, "I remember that." But that's not how human memory actually begins. Because long before your baby remembers birthdays, toys, or what your house looked like, their brain is already asking one question over and over again. Am I safe here? And the answer gets written down every single day, not in words, but in feelings. That's the part that changes everything. A lot of parents imagine a baby's brain like a blank notebook, empty, waiting for memories to start. But it's more like wet cement. Everything leaves an impression. The sound of your voice, the way you pick them up, the tension in the room, the calm after they cry, even the way you look at them during ordinary moments. Your baby may not remember a Tuesday afternoon at 4 p.m., but their nervous system will remember what that afternoon felt like. And over time, those feelings become patterns. Patterns become beliefs. And beliefs quietly shape who they become. Think about this. Have you ever met someone who constantly apologizes, or someone who panics when people pull away, or someone who feels deeply calm around others? A lot of that starts earlier than most people realize, because babies are not just learning language, they're learning emotional reality. They're learning whether the world is predictable, whether people respond, whether emotions are dangerous, whether closeness feels safe, and they learn all of that before they can even form sentences. That's the incredible part. A baby can't explain stress, but they can absorb it. They can't explain comfort, but they can feel it immediately. Imagine this moment. It's 2:13 inches the morning. You're exhausted. Your baby starts crying again. You barely slept. You pick them up anyway. And to you, that moment feels forgettable, small, routine, meaningless. But to your baby's brain, that moment is data. Someone came back for me. And that feeling gets stored not as a detailed memory, but as an emotional expectation. And emotional expectations are powerful, because later in life, people don't just react to what's happening in front of them, they react through the emotional patterns their nervous system learned early on. That's why two people can experience the same situation and feel completely different about it. One feels secure, another fears rejection. One small difference can begin with thousands of tiny moments no one remembers individually. That's what makes parenting so profound. And honestly, a little overwhelming too, because parents hear this and think, "So I have to do everything perfectly?" No, that's one of the biggest misunderstandings. Babies do not need perfection. They need consistency, warmth, repair, and presence. You can be tired, stressed, impatient, sometimes you're human. What matters most is the repeated emotional message underneath your actions. Are you there for me? Do I matter? Am I safe with you? And here's what's beautiful: babies are incredibly adaptive. A loving glance matters. A soft tone matters. A gentle response matters. Even tiny moments of connection help shape the architecture of trust inside the brain. The smile when they look toward you, the way you soften your voice when they're overwhelmed, the tiny pause when you stop scrolling and make eye contact, those moments feel invisible while they're happening. But they are not invisible to your child. They are becoming your child. And this leads to something most parents rarely think about. Your baby isn't only learning how to feel about the world, they're learning how to feel about themselves. And one of the biggest turning points in that learning comes from how you respond when they cry. Because babies are not crying to control you, they're crying to survive. That's the only language they have. A newborn cannot calm themselves, cannot explain hunger, cannot say, "I'm scared," cannot tell you they feel overwhelmed. So crying is not manipulation, it's a biological alarm system. It's their way of saying, "Does anyone come when I need help?" And the answer to that question becomes one of the first emotional lessons their brain ever learns. Not because parents must react perfectly every second, but because repeated comfort teaches something deeper than silence ever could. Think about a moment almost every parent knows. It's late. You're exhausted. You finally sit down after cleaning bottles or folding laundry, and then the crying starts again. For a second, you freeze. Frustration, fatigue, maybe guilt, and you wonder, am I helping them or making this worse? That fear is common because generations were taught that too much comfort creates weakness. But secure attachment research shows the opposite. Babies who feel consistently responded to often become more emotionally secure, not less, because comfort teaches the nervous system a powerful expectation. When I'm distressed, I'm not alone. And eventually, children who trust that support exists stop needing constant reassurance. Not because they were forced into independence, but because safety allowed confidence to grow naturally. Now, no parent can respond instantly every time. That's impossible. Life is messy. Sometimes you're overwhelmed. Sometimes you need a moment. Sometimes you're just trying to survive the day. That does not ruin a child. What shapes them most is the overall emotional pattern. Do they usually feel comforted, seen, and responded to? And over time, something powerful happens. When a baby cries and someone responds calmly, their body starts learning how to calm itself too. At first, your nervous system becomes their regulator, your voice, your touch, your heartbeat. That's why babies settle when they're held. They're borrowing calm from you. And slowly they learn, this feeling passes. I can recover. I'm safe again. That's the foundation of emotional regulation, not punishment, not distance, but connection. And this changes the meaning of small moments. Picking them up after a nightmare, rocking them when they're overstimulated, whispering softly when they're overwhelmed. To parents, it feels repetitive. But to a child's nervous system, it is trust being built day after day. And one day, something beautiful happens. They stop crying for you in the middle of the night. The room stays quiet. And all those exhausting nights weren't just about stopping tears. They were teaching your child what love feels like during distress. But there's something else babies study just as closely as your response to their crying your face. Before they understand language, they study your expression like a survival guide. When a baby falls, they look at you first. If you panic, they panic. If you stay calm, they settle. Because they are learning emotional meaning through you. A smile, soft eyes, warm attention. These moments tell a baby, you matter. I see you. Your emotions make sense. Over time, that becomes their internal voice. And during difficult emotions, crying, frustration, overwhelm, your reaction teaches them what feelings mean. Not with words, but with presence. And just as important as the big moments are the small ones. Bedtime routines, feeding, quiet eye contact, gentle touch. These everyday interactions quietly build a child's sense of safety and self. And when emotions are met with calm presence, Children slowly learn, my feelings are manageable. I'm still loved when I'm upset. But the most important lesson of all is this: children do not need a perfect parent. They need a parent who comes back, because emotional security is not built by never breaking, but by repairing after stress. When you get overwhelmed and then return softer, and when you take a breath and reconnect, you're teaching something powerful. Relationships can recover. And there will be moments you don't even notice. You'll walk into a room, your child will be upset, and you'll simply say, I'm here. Nothing changes in the situation, but something changes in them. Their nervous system records it. Even when I'm overwhelmed, someone comes closer, not further. And years from now, they won't remember the exact moment, but they will carry the feeling. The sense that closeness is safe, that emotions don't destroy love, that someone comes back, and that feeling doesn't fade the way memories do.